Hello and welcome back. We are headed for part 6 of Dreambound. Now I keep saying that, surely it's going to end this time. This should be the last part, but we keep going. Every time I think it's going to end, it doesn't. This is a very hefty boy. So, let's get stuck in. With that thought in his mind, he braced himself for what was waiting him. He could hear their voices before he even stepped through the door. They didn't keep their words to hushed tones, instead deciding that even if anyone did overhear them, they didn't care. I think this tutor is a good fit for him. If you can finally convince him to give up that girly hobby, then I don't care who it is. Girly hobby. Right, we're straight into the awful parents. Maybe his brother will be able to talk some sense into him too. I'm home. He purposely cut into their conversation, ignoring their words even as they dug deep into him. What's wrong with drawing? I have something to show you. Here. Noah fished the test paper from his bag and handed it over to his mother, who gasped in surprise. Noah, did you take someone else's test? What? No. Did you cheat? No. This is really yours? Yeah. Not bad. Asha. Between our games, there's now three characters with a name similar or to Ash. Not bad. Nearly as good as Asha. Right, my bad. I'll try harder next time. Don't worry, dear. He'll get it next time. I hate these people so much. With an inaudible sigh, Noah felt his spirits deflate. He took back the paper and buried it in his backpack. I'm going to go wait for my tutor in my room. Good boy. I'll bring you some snacks later. Instead of setting up for his tutor, Noah found himself pulling his old sketchbooks from his shelves. His eyes danced over the pages, looking at everything he'd poured his heart into over the years. I guess I just suck. Why am I never good enough? At least August thinks it's cool. For what must have been the 100th time, Noah stared down at August's contact in his phone, but decided against texting him. It's not like I have anything to say to him. I'm here. Noah, you should be so proud of yourself after that last test. You've always been good. No, great, but you've grown even further. Thanks to you. Mr. Floyd shut the door behind him and shook his head. No, it's because you put the effort in. He sat his textbooks down on the table before glancing towards the sketchbooks in Noah's hands. What's this? Oh, they're nothing. This is your art? Noah braced himself. He waited for the same words that came from each one of his tutors, like robots with strict scripts. The script that, by extension, came from his parents, every single time. You should give that up. It's a waste of time. You should study instead. Fuck study. Follow your dreams. You have so many talents. I had no idea you could draw. You're not going to tell me to stop? Of course not. He laughed and sat down. But unlike you, I struggle with even a stick figure, so I won't be any use in that regard. Should we get started on what I can help with? Noah felt a lightness in his heart that he didn't know could exist. He's on my side? Oh, what does this guy do? If they all hate him now, what does he do? Oh. Mr. Floyd opened up one of his math textbooks, waiting for Noah to join him. He sat on the other side of the table and pulled out his workbook. Equations and calculations sat against the page like foreign language. I think we can move on to a new subject now. You've already proven you have a mastery over what I've taught so far. Noah nodded, but his eyes went back down to his phone. I thought he would have sent me a message by now. Maybe he doesn't want to. Oh, he's probably having the same dilemma that you are. Or maybe he wants me to send one first. Maybe he just doesn't have anything to say, since we're not even that close and we see each other every day at school. Or maybe... Noah? Maybe he didn't actually want to give me his number and I put him on the spot. Is it too weird to message each other? Hello? Earth to Noah. Mr. Floyd waved his hand in front of Noah, snapping him out of wherever his mind had gone. Oh, sorry, I'm listening. Of course you're not. His tutor closed the textbook, looking earnestly at him. What's on your mind? I'm sorry, Mr. Floyd, I'll concentrate now. Noah reached across the table, trying to open the textbook back to the page on whatever his teacher was currently trying to talk about. But unfortunately, Mr. Floyd was faster than him. He gently placed his hand on the book, stopping it from being opened, before shaking his head. Some things are more important than schoolwork. A lot of things, really. Don't tell anyone I said that to you. No one will ever do their homework again. Is it really okay? He'll think I'm weird, won't he? Oh, he's gonna tell your parents. But I feel like I can trust him. I feel like you can't. Actually, something has been on my mind. I don't want you to laugh at me, though. Go ahead. I won't laugh. What does liking someone feel like? Liking someone? Like, you know, liking someone. Like love or something. Mr. Floyd did in fact laugh for a second, before he noticed a serious expression on Noah's face. Okay, you're serious. You're a healthy teenage boy. I thought you would have known this already. Let's see. I wasn't exactly prepared for this. He cleared his throat awkwardly. So, you mean, like, physically? Yeah. How do you know? Let me think back to being a teenager. I guess I used to feel awkward around my crush. Butterflies, wanting to talk with them, staring at them. Sounds kind of creepy looking back on it. Is it someone in the class? You don't have to tell me. Noah nodded wordlessly. Sophia? Or maybe Aria? Sophia? Isn't there Sophia in the other game? Isn't there Sophia and Amelie? Is it wrong to like someone that's like me? Someone like you? It's August. A silence followed his sudden outburst. He blinked, surprised at Noah's answer. Of course that's not wrong. Really? Yeah, you have nothing to be worried about. I'm so stressed by this story. A warm feeling spread through Noah's chest. Validation. It's okay. I'm okay. I'm normal. And this is why representation matters so much. This has really been bothering you, huh? Well, don't worry. I won't tell anyone. Oh, I don't trust you. I really want to. But we've seen the dream. We've seen how they've acted. Mr. Floyd reopened his textbook naturally, segueing back into the lesson. Now, where were we? Noah picked up his pencil and listened carefully, his mind suddenly as clear as the sky just outside the window, which had begun to dim into a gentle orange. Right. Advanced calculus, everyone's favourite. Really? You'll pick it up in no time. How do you even remember so much? Would you believe me if I said I just love maths so much that it's all I do in my free time? Ew. Agreed. Even teachers aren't that sad. Except maybe Miss... Wait, I shouldn't say that. I really shouldn't say that. Come on, now I'm curious. My lips are sealed. Fine. Then how do you remember it all? The truth is, I don't remember everything. I think that's the same no matter what you study. You learn things, you forget things, you relearn things. That sounds so lame. Who'd want to relearn something you're not interested in over and over again just to teach someone else? Me, I suppose. There's something satisfying about being able to pass on knowledge. Maybe you'll understand one day. I would be an awful teacher. An art teacher then? No, I'm nowhere near good enough. I beg to differ. But whether you want to do that or not, I can see you going far with your art. Keep it up, okay? Mr. Floyd chatted happily, circling a formula in Noah's workbook at the same time. He can do advanced calculus and small talk at the same time. He really is something else. Do you have someone you like? That's the thing to ask a teacher. What? Where'd that come from? I was just wondering. You said someone special told you to be a teacher, right? So you do pay attention in class. I thought you were too busy tapping your pencil against the desk. Hey. I did. You did? He was gonna say he. That person isn't around anymore. And I haven't really been interested in dating since then. Oh, he found a queer teacher. Nice. Oh, but that makes everything even worse. Oh, what's going on? Oh, I'm sorry. What? Oh, they aren't dead. Just got married. I went to the wedding and it was beautiful. Still just a little heartbroken, I guess. Did you try that thing they do in the movies? Objecting? And die before actually doing something like that. Really, this is another lesson for you. Take risky shots before you don't have the chance to anymore. Was her dress pretty at least? He looked happier than ever. Oh, right. Her dress was pretty too. At some point, the sun had fallen deep over the horizon, leaving the moonlight to shine in from the large window at the back of the room. Mr. Floyd shut his textbook with a sigh, staring out at the window as if he was waiting for someone to miraculously appear. When no one did, he turned back to Noah. I think that's enough for today, though I think we chatted more than studied. Don't tell on me, alright? I need that extra money. I knew you weren't here out of the goodness of your own heart. Mr. Floyd smirked in response, and Noah found himself laughing along the man as they both headed towards the door. Good work today, Noah. I'll see you tomorrow. I see you two are finally done. Good. A word, if that's okay with you. Of course, ma'am. Noah, you can go back to your room. Why? The adults need to speak. Go on, run off. Has she been listening at the door or something? That wouldn't surprise me if they've got his friggin' room bugged or something. Alright. Good night. I'll see you tomorrow, Mr. Floyd. The door shut quietly behind Noah as he tried to put aside his mother's dismissive attitude. On his table, various books were still laid out from the tutoring session. But his studies weren't what was on his mind. He says it's okay that I like August. Right. I like him. That's what this is. Noah settled in between his sheets, closing his eyes. Outside the door, he could hear the low murmur of talking, but couldn't make any specific words. But whatever they were talking about, it didn't matter. At that time, at that moment, nothing else mattered to him but the feeling of finally being accepted. Finally feeling like he'd found his place. With that in his mind, he closed his eyes. Morning had come around much too quickly. Noah had spent most of the night tossing and turning, thinking about what his teacher had said, and his feelings for the boy who lived just next door. He'd only just managed to get to sleep when his eyes snapped open. For some reason, the sunlight that streamed in from outside seemed to be particularly bright this morning. That was cause for alarm. Noah reached out for his phone and flipped it open. The time on it read 8:25 a.m. What the? My alarm didn't go off. The bell's going to ring in 5 minutes. 2 minutes later, he was dressed and ready to leave. He quickly checked himself in the mirror and smoothed out his hair before he practically flew out the door. Mom, why didn't you wake me? Both the kitchen and the living room were devoid of any and all life. Usually at least his mother would still be around this time of day, but it seemed that she was out. With no time to waste on where they had gone, Noah picked up his backpack from near the front door and stepped into his shoes before shooting out the front door. In a hurry, Noah circled around his house to reach the overgrown yet well-worn track that led down the mountain. If I run, I won't be too late, I hope. Usually he would either wait around for August and Kane or see them waiting for him already. This time he didn't expect to see either of them. Maybe that's why he stopped in his tracks when a bit of blonde hair shone through the foliage ahead of him. Wait, August? Oh God, I'm not ready to see him yet. Should I go back the way I came? Ugh, but he's been waiting for me all this time. Noah? A voice called out from behind the green leaves. Green eyes that nearly matched peered at him, first in surprise, then in happiness. Noah, it is you! What are you doing here? I was waiting for you so we could walk to school together. But now you're going to be late. I don't mind being a bit late. What if I was sick or something, or wasn't going in today? Well, I had contemplated coming to knock on your door, but I didn't want to rush you. Thanks. Kane didn't wait? Oh, he wanted to come drag you out of bed himself, but he said something about his father telling him not to be late today for some reason. Weird. Shoulder to shoulder, the two started speeding down the mountain, careful not to slip. At the present moment, being late for school was the last thing on Noah's mind. All his senses were consumed by August, his eyes filled with the sight of his face that shone like sunlight falling on a field of flowers. His nose filled with the smell of August shampoo, how close is he? Which still drifted off his still slightly damp hair. His ears much too aware of August's breathing, of his footsteps, of the rocks tumbling beneath his feet. Each time their shoulders brushed together, Noah could feel himself wanting to run away as fast as possible. The only thing missing from the five senses was taste. Give me a little lick. Licky licky. Taste. A taste of... God, what am I thinking? Noah felt his face flush. Never in his life had he thought about another person that way. And now, suddenly, it was as if that's all he could think about. Did you sleep in? Huh? Noah nearly jumped out of his skin when August spoke up. Oh, I didn't sleep very well. I think I forgot to set my alarm too. I hate it when that happens. Usually my mum would wake me up if I overslept, but she wasn't at home this morning. August pulled out his phone and checked his clock. Doesn't look like we'll be too late at least. Though if we're late already, we should just skip class and hang out instead. Ugh. I'm kidding. Oh. Doesn't sound so bad to me. I think my dad might school if I think my dad might school. Yeah. If I skip cry. Yep. That's definitely what that says. I think my dad might cry if I skip school, to be honest. Really? Yeah, that's the kind of person he is. Up ahead, the greenery was slowly giving way to concrete. For some reason, that filled Noah with a sense of sadness. Here, together and alone, they were in a place no one else could reach. No one else could ruin. But out there, the world went on. I wish we could just stay here. Nothing, it's fine. Come on, we should hurry up. The two boys ran through the streets and into the class gates. A teacher who had been minding the gate simply shook his head as the two walked in. Jeez, now they're going to think I'm a bad influence on you even more. Being influenced by you doesn't sound so bad. The two stopped dead in their tracks as they walked into the classroom, so busy chatting they almost forgot they were late. The room was hushed and all eyes went to the two boys. You, take a seat. Me? Yes, you. Okay. August took his seat alone, leaving Noah standing awkwardly by the door. Sitting at the front desk was someone other than their teacher, the principal. Noah, I take it? Yeah. Sorry we're late, it was my fault. We'll deal with your tardiness later. For now, please come with me. Noah stood his ground. Why? I assumed your parents would have talked to you. When Noah didn't budge, the principal simply sighed and shrugged his shoulders before opening his mouth once again. You'll be moving classes from today. What? Why? Because your parents have requested it. Now, come on, let's not make a scene. But... You'll be in class 3-1 from today onwards. Come on, I'll introduce you. Class, Mr. Floyd will be arriving shortly. Please use the time for self-study until then. God, I hate his parents so much. Please, sir, I think there's been a mistake. You're Noah, correct? Yes. Your parents requested. Well, can't really say requested. Demanded would be more suited, I think. They demanded you move at once. Your mother was here this morning in person. Why you weren't told, I don't know. Noah felt himself deflate. Mum did this? Why? Do I really have to move? Unfortunately, I can't do anything about it. Your family is a major financial backer. Whatever he said after that, Noah couldn't bear to listen anymore. It always comes down to money, doesn't it? Have enough money and you can mess with anyone's life, and you can mess anyone's life over as much as you want. I hate her. I hate them so much. So do I. I'm with you. The two stopped in front of a door that was identical to the last classroom, and the two stepped inside. Once again, the class looked towards him as he entered, though this time, the faces were much more unfamiliar. A young woman with short orange hair and dark eyes smiled towards him. Quickly, she moved to pull him to the side. You must be Noah. Please, you can take a seat and you can call me Miss Rose. I understand you were probably moved here against your wishes, so I won't force you to stand at the front of the class and introduce yourself, okay? Is that actually a thing? Like, do people actually have to do that? Because that is just so awful. Ugh. Fine. She smiled. Her eyes seemed sympathetic, but Noah looked away from her angrily. Noah sat at the desk as he was pointed towards wordlessly, a frown on his brow. What's going on? Why did they do this to me? This isn't fair. This isn't fair. The principal, done with his part, left the room after nodding to Miss Rose. Noah kept his mouth shut, his workbook closed, and his pen lying to the side, unused. He stared out the window at the mountains in the distance. We should have just stayed there, skipped class and hung out like you said. Everything sucks. Everything sucks except for you. Hey, what about Kane? Kane seems pretty cool. Miss Rose's voice droned on in the background, while Noah paid her no mind. His eyes wandered from the mountains back to his desk. He opened up his workbook. It was filled with yesterday's notes, neat and tidy. He lifted his pen to the page next to it and harshly scribbled a line down the page, then another and another, leaving muddy black ink all over his white canvas. Before Noah knew it, the lunch bell was ringing and he was the only one left in the classroom. He jumped up from his desk and stormed out of the room, searching for one person in particular. Hey. Noah finally spotted him. Mr. Floyd walked down the stairwell alone, his material for the day held tightly in his arms. When Noah launched down the steps towards him, he dropped his books and papers everywhere. "What's going on?" Wordlessly, he bent down to pick up his dropped items, but Noah quickly advanced further towards him. "I said, what's going on? Why have I been moved?" "Your parents requested it." "But why?" "I was wrong. You shouldn't listen to my advice." "What do you mean?" Mr. Floyd paused, his face conflicted. His words were slow and drawn out, as if he was struggling to say them. "My advice about August. You should ignore it." "So you're telling me the way I feel is wrong after all?" "I'm sorry, Noah. Please don't speak to me again, or both of us will be in trouble." She fucking was listening at the door, wasn't she? Oh, I hate this woman. With his papers gathered, he continued down the stairs, leaving Noah alone with his anger. Fuck! He punched the wall, uncharacteristically filled with anger. I just want to be in the same class as August. This isn't fair. Noah! Hey, what's going on? What was all that this morning? Great question. I got escorted into Miss Rose's class this morning by the principal, and no one will tell me what's going on. They just keep saying my parents made me move, but why? Kane's frown deepened, his usual teasing face replaced with something much more serious. They can't just do that. Apparently they can. Once again, they just want to ruin my life. I'm sorry. At least they didn't suddenly move me to another school. Shit could be worse, I guess. That still doesn't make it fair. Fine. Then I'm going to come sit in Miss Rose's class today. If we're all allowed to just move around wherever we want. Oh, I love him so much. I mean, I'm sure that... I'm guessing this is going to be multi-rap. But, like, Kane's my favorite, okay? He's just so good. Don't. You'll just get in trouble. And what are they going to do? It's not worth it. I'll try to work it out. You want me to tell August? Not yet. Maybe I can fix this somehow. I'm going home now, so you don't have to wait for me after school. Won't that just get you in more trouble? Probably, but I don't really care. Alright, then I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see what I can do too. Kane gave Noah a wave before going back out into the hallway. Filled with anger, Noah flew down the staircase and out into the street, ignoring the calls from the teachers behind him. What's going on? What are you doing home? Class doesn't finish until this afternoon. Why did you get me to move to a different class? I'm very disappointed in you, Noah, for many reasons. Give me your phone, now. What? Why? Now! Frustrated, he whipped his phone from his bag just in time to see the screen light up with a name he'd been waiting for all this time. August. But it was too late. She snatched it from his hand as he floundered to get it back. Wait, let me check that text. She looked down at the screen before sighing and switching the phone off. You're not having this back. From now on, you better only concentrate on school. I don't want any more nonsense from you. School, school, school. Just fucking burn it all down. Don't do that. It's terrible advice. What? No more stopping places on the way home, and absolutely no hanging around this August anymore. Oh God, I hate her so much. I hate her so much. I don't understand. Why did you make me move class? Why are you punishing me for no reason? Go to your room. What about my tutoring later? We've fired your tutor. I'll find you a new one soon. Tears threatened to overflow as he stomped back to his room and slammed the door shut, the echo travelling through the entire house. It's also terrible parenting. Like, if you're going to punish someone for something, they have to know why. Otherwise, there's nothing to learn from it. It's just sadistic. That arsehole, he told her everything, didn't he? When they went to talk alone, he told her everything I said to him. He told me I was normal, but he told them everything. Shouldn't have trusted him. Fuck. He told me I was normal. You are normal. Asshole. You are normal. Noah collapsed on his bed, burying his tear-filled face into his mountain of pillows. He didn't even bother kicking his shoes off. It's not fair. Why does everyone want to ruin my life? I just want to be in the same class as him. At some point, his eyes began to feel heavy, and he fell into a sleep that finally stopped his tears, when the world kept moving around him. Cain, frustrated with his own ability to help, and August, who wondered if messaging Noah was too forward, especially as he was ignored. When Noah opened his eyes again, the room was already dark. His eyes felt puffy, his skin tight. He sat up from his bed and turned on a lamp. In a mirror across the room, he saw his reflection. It looked like crap. Maybe I should try that thing August said. He left the room and returned with his hands full of various products his mother owned. What's this all do, anyway? Guess it's not surprising August uses this stuff. His skin looks really soft and smooth. I bet if I touched it, I bet it would feel really nice. He picked up a few random bottles of various sizes. Toner, cleanser, serum, eye cream. What is all of this? It's all bullshit, that's what it is. Finally, he found the bottle he was searching for in the sea of other bottles. Light moisturizer. Maybe this will help. This is so cute. Awkwardly, he rubbed it over his face, waiting for something magical to happen. Well, I guess it feels a little fresher. This stuff is way too overpriced. He sighed, dropping the bottles onto his floor as he fell back onto his bed. Of course, he finally texts me and he takes my phone, and she takes my phone. Of course. The thing I've been waiting for. Maybe I should go over and talk to him. Otherwise, he'll think I'm ignoring him. Standing, he rested his hand on his doorknob before trying to turn it. Locked. They fucking locked him into his room? What? I left just a minute ago. Did they seriously lock me in here? Yeah, that's not a fire hazard at all. Oh my god, I hate them so much. I guess leaving in the middle of the night is probably a bad idea anyway. But some fresh air would be good. With that thought, he pulled his window open before he froze. In the window across from him, he saw him. August. A pair of headphones sat in his ears, and the soft sound of humming came from behind this closed window. His bedroom, right across from mine? How did I not notice? He drew his shallow breath and held it, as if waiting for something to go wrong. For someone to take this away from him too, but nothing happened. Yeah, you just wait, they're gonna blot up the fucking window next. He searched through his room, looking for something to throw. Pencils. Please let me not damage his window or hit him. Bang, bang, bang. He threw them one at a time, not too hard lest someone in his house notice, but he hoped hard enough to attract August's attention. Before long, he saw August pull his headphones from his ears and look towards his window. His big green eyes were filled with surprise. He rushed towards the window and opened it. And a pencil soared over his head and into his room. Noah quickly slid out of his window and sat atop the windowsill. Noah copied him, doing the same. Aww. Noah! Shh, or someone will notice. He whispered in return, raising his fingers to his lips. August nodded knowingly, as if he understood exactly what was going on. I had no clue my bedroom faced yours. Noah could have sworn he saw a dusting of pink on August's cheek as he chuckled quietly. I noticed the other day. I thought you knew already. I shut my curtains when I change, don't I? You think that's how you noticed? I don't know how I didn't notice. I'm sorry about ignoring your text. I didn't get to read it because my mum took my phone. She says I can't have it back. What? Why? I can't tell him what I said to Mr. Floyd. I confided in Mr. Floyd about a personal issue and he gave me some advice. Then he went and told everything to my parents anyway. And now everything is ruined. They made me move class, they took my phone, and he said I'm not allowed to talk to you anymore. And everything is just a mess. Sorry, I should have told you earlier. It'll be okay. Don't worry about the message either. It's not your fault. I wanted to be in the same class as you. As me? I didn't mean... I just like spending time with you. And Kane too, of course. I also wish we could be in the same class too. Sorry, I don't want to make you feel even worse. Then I'll just move class as well. What? Are you serious? Well, I'll ask my dad if he can organize it or not, but either way, we can still hang out, right? You don't have to do that. I'm sure you have other class and friends apart from me. What about Kane? What about Kane? Poor abandoned Kane. August shook his head and gave Noah his signature smile. I want to spend my time with you. But you don't find me annoying? As if August could read his mind, he smiled gently towards Noah. He paused. You and Kane showed me what it's like to have real friends. I don't want to lose that. Oh, right. Kane. Yeah, Kane. Don't forget Kane. Kane's a good boy. Noah scratched at the back of his head awkwardly, annoyed at himself for jumping to conclusions. I'll tell him about the plan too. Yeah, probably a good idea. Yes. Tell Kane. Don't leave Kane out. All of a sudden, Noah went quiet and he peered through the darkness towards Noah. Noah became still as a statue, freezing up completely under his scrutinous eye. What? Did you use moisturizer? I just thought I'd give it a try since you said it was good. Noah glanced away. He cannot tell. He cannot tell that. Oh my god. Noah glanced away, filled with embarrassment, just in time to see a flash. In August's hand, a pink camera. He smiled from behind it as it printed out a picture. A picture of Noah. Did you just... I used the film we bought at the store together. See? What the? You should just throw that away. You don't need a picture of me. No chance. I think I want to hang it up in my room. If you're going to do that, then we should just take one together. We can do that, but I want to keep this one too. That's kind of embarrassing. Really? I like it. Whenever I feel lonely, looking at my photos makes me feel happier. You can just come see me instead. From behind him, Noah heard the sound of something being unlocked. With a feeling of dread in his stomach, he jumped back in his window. I think my mum's here. I gotta go. Good night. Good night, Noah. Sleep well. Noah's door swung open just as he managed to retreat back under his covers. His heart still beating hard. So hard that it was almost painful. Because I nearly got caught? No. Because I like August. A lot. I like him. You're in bed? I was going to bring you dinner. I'm not hungry. Fine. Straight home from school tomorrow. Do you understand? Can I stay at a friend's place this weekend? Noah's mother crossed her arms, obviously not impressed by his question. Which friend? She knows. If I say Kane's now, I'll just be in more trouble. August's. Kane is coming too. No. You're not allowed over at his house, and you're grounded anyway. Good night, Noah. Fuck her. She shut the door. I can't believe they lock him in his room. Someone called Docs. She shut the door behind her before Noah could even think of a response. Good night, Mum. You say good night to her. Alone, as always. God, they're so horrible. But on the other side of his window, someone that made him feel together. Oh!
Lead producer.
Oh my goodness. Just as I was looking at my time on my recording, thinking, oh, I'm gonna have to end it soon, we actually hit the end. Oh, this is amazing, and holy shit. Ooh, microphone. Look at all these people. I actually know quite a lot of these people. This was so good. Okay, so look at this. This is, there we go. Kickstarter in August. August. Do you think they did that on purpose? Kickstarter in August, and one of their main characters is August. Kickstarter, August. You should definitely plan to support them. This game looks amazing. So let's talk about Dreambound. I skipped this at the beginning, but let's talk about their itch page. Alone, confined within his prison, the man sits, his back slouched and his arms raised. In his hand, a paintbrush, a weapon in his eyes, perhaps, a tool that could create something from nothing. Waves crash onto the white shores. The night sky reflects back on itself, a sea of stars amidst the swirling currents. All is calm, yet not. But as it were, that world didn't exist, couldn't exist. It would never exist. It could not be created by this hand. By this hand, all he could create was loneliness. This game will be 3 routes by their itch page. You can see that these routes are going to be Kane, heck yeah. White boy with the tattoos, what was his name? Ivan? And mysterious dream boy Crow. So that should be very interesting. I cannot wait to see what these routes will go and how they resolve his trauma. He has so much trauma. Poor Noah. Their background art is so gorgeous. We actually use the same background artist for between Dreambound and my own game, Heart Agency. What I'm most excited about this though, and what I think really sets this game apart, is just not only how absolutely gorgeous it looks. It looks so sleek, and I wouldn't expect this to come from just 2 women in their bedroom. Like, this is amazing. They've put so much effort and so much time and energy and skill and creativity, and it's so good. But their escape room though, like, that was so cool. And I know I didn't do very well at it, but that's so cool. And it had so many layers upon layers, and it had, I can't imagine how difficult that would have been to code. Like, I can't even begin to guess how they coded all that, because it's just so amazing. And the variables of it, interacting with items, with the different items from the inventory, gives you different options, and it's just so cool. I'm so excited to see where this game goes. And they've been working so hard on it, and they're just amazing. Support them on Kickstarter. Mark your calendars. Do it. They're also the developers of The Divine Speaker, Amelie, Start Again. All 3 of those you can buy on itch and Steam. Highly recommend all of them. When I get the time from my freelance work, I'll be doing Let's Plays of Amelie, Start Again, and finishing The Divine Speaker. Also planning on doing some, maybe doing a stream of The Divine Speaker to implement all the remaining voice acting that I haven't been able to get to yet. It is coming. I am doing it. Life is hard. Dreambound, I think, deals with some really heavy topics too. Like, you can see, like, present day Noah, he's so deep in depression and just trauma. I'm really interested to see how that would be dealt with, because it's so thick and part of his character that reading it out loud almost feels wrong. Like, I'm so invested in this story already, and I can't wait to see where it goes. Reminder, support them on Kickstarter. August. It's less than a month away. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. And check out the other videos on my channel. I do Let's Plays, I do song covers. I'm also a developer. So, I'll see you around. Hopefully sooner than the last time. Bye!